Jelle, how's life?
Good.
Yeah?
A lot of things changed since the last time we spoke.
Yeah. When was the last? I think that's been like a year or something.
I think longer. I think about 2 years already.
The podcast?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the last time we spoke, the podcast, you were sitting with two persons. Andy joined as well.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? Because at that moment you were part of Mightyfools, the DJ duo, pretty successful, as I might say. And so what happened? Because now I noticed that you guys quit.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell a bit more about that period?
A lot of
last
things.
year.
A lot of things happened around the time that we spoke with you, and we were very busy with vlogging. Actually,
That was true.
yeah, the subject was about vlogging and what
Exactly,
it would add to a DJ profile, basically. And I still think the same as I said back then. It really adds a lot, and it gives like a personal connection with your fan base. But for us, it also meant, in short, I think, too much work.
For just the vlogging?
The combination, being a producer, being a touring DJ with a pretty hectic touring schedule, being a business owner, being a boyfriend,
Yeah.
being a person in general, and then being a vlogger as well. It was just, we basically were working 24/7 non-stop. Every free minute that we had was spent on the vlog to make it possible.
Okay.
So we also decided to do it once every 2 weeks instead of every week, just to give ourselves some time.
Yeah.
And it was just, I think the pressure was getting too much, and that was the point that Andy started breaking, basically, and collapsing.
Yeah, because he had some kind of anxiety, or what did he have?
Yeah, so a little history on Mightyfools. We've been touring we've been Mightyfools for 11 years.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Yeah, and that was in August when we quit. So we were Mightyfools about 9 to 10 years around the time that this all started going. He never been on a holiday. I was, and that's
In 10 years, never.
Just working. I think I've been on a holiday 3 times in 10 years, but still, just enough to keep me sane, keep me on track. And for him, the whole pressure of the artist life in combination with just working non-stop, because in the DJ world in general, it's like it used to be a marathon, now it's a sprint, and if you don't run for 1 second, you're way behind, and you have to do a lot of work to catch up. And that's like the angry man breathing in your neck, like the whole 10 years.
Yeah.
And some people can close that easier than others, and for him that was really difficult to separate business from private, and being a famous DJ compared to just being a normal guy doing the grocery shopping during the weekdays. So that whole pressure, it was just getting way too much for him, and he got in a really heavy depression and closed himself out.
When did this happen?
It started about 2 years ago, and I think around the time that we were vlogging, it got worse.
Where it kicked in,
Yeah, because we suddenly had like another extra job on top of all the other jobs we already had.
Yeah. And what did you notice? Because you're in a DJ duo, you're with two persons. I always compare it with having a relationship, like with your girlfriend. It's the exact same thing.
Well, if you compare it like that, I would be the guy doing all the housekeeping, and he would be lying on the sofa watching TV. That was kind of the role in Mightyfools for the last.
That's what changed at that.
It was already a little bit like that, but it got to a point that it was unworkable, and we were getting behind on deadlines. We were
lacking in the business.
Yeah, we were just putting out way too little music, and it was difficult between ourselves as well. Like, I was preparing a DJ set, ask him for some input, no input for 2 weeks on a big festival. Like, we would play Tomorrowland, and the whole tracklist was my tracklist, and I wouldn't hear anything from him for 2 weeks about Tomorrowland until the day before. So I was like, what the fuck, bro? So those kind of things started getting worse and worse, and when we look back to that, it was just a big depression, and him having like a mask with a big smile on his face and being the crazy stage animal. But in the meanwhile, he was just really sad and just collapsed from all the pressure, like probably years ago already, but just kept going while he was collapsed.
Yeah, and I think that's the scariest thing about depression. You don't see anything from the outside.
Everybody was thinking Andy was the happiest guy alive, and everybody called him the crazy guy, the happy guy, the entertaining guy. He was like the crazy animal on stage jumping around.
But deep inside, something went wrong. Like internally, something went wrong. So how did you? Because I can imagine that brings a lot of negative energy into the project. A lot of frustration from your side and probably from his side as well.
Of course.
How did you communicate it with him? Because he was in a completely different mindset than you were at that moment. He was living in another world. Yeah,
so the communication was probably the main problem, actually. For myself, I've tried a couple of things. First, like motivating him with positive influences, input. Didn't work. Tried it with negative. Like at one point I was just threatening him, like, if you don't do this on time like you are supposed to, I'm gonna cut your paycheck. I'm 50% owner of the business, so I can do that. I'm in that position.
That's not what you want to do, but
I told him like a zillion times, like, I feel like the angry teacher while we are a duo. And I'm like this guy non-stop. Well, I don't want to be that guy. I want to be the happy guy, enjoying this as much as everybody else instead of chasing you around. And at one point we got into this huge argument, and I just felt so bad. Like, this is not me. Why am I shouting him and chasing him and making him feel bad while he's my best friend? I don't want to be in that position, but I have to be in that position, because if we don't work, the whole project just disappears, because it's a sprint. And we're not running right now.
Which is a shame, because you've been building it for 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. We've been running the marathon, and we've been really successful, and we've played like probably 1,000 shows in 10 years, and every stage that we could dream of, yet we're stuck right here. And we got into this huge fight, and I just said, I never walked out on him, and at that point I walked out of him, literally out of the studio, saying, I'm on strike and I'm not doing anything anymore until we find out what's going on here. Why are we clashing like this? So we didn't speak for like 4 days, and at that point I get a text message from his girlfriend, like, shit hit the fan, it's going down. And
rock bottom.
He hit rock bottom. He just panicked and got like, his depression completely took over, and he was just panicking, like, holy shit, the one guy who used to back me up and catch me, and if I made a mistake he would stand by me, he's gone now. He's not working anymore. So he saw the whole thing collapsing, and then we finally started talking, and well, the whole thing I just said, like, him in the depression and not spending any holidays, he was just completely burnt out and needed the rest. So we decided he gets like a few months off. We canceled Australia tours, Asia tours, just doing like one-off Europe shows, so fly to Germany back and forth, simple things,
Quick flights.
And I saw energy coming back to him. I saw him smiling again. I saw him communicating again. I saw him giving his opinion again about things. Well, before that he was like completely shut down and just blank. And so we were like, okay, we can build this up again. And we tried it, and after 1 or 2 months I started seeing the same habits again, like escaping, but then I knew there's more behind this. So shouting to him has no use. It doesn't make me happy, it doesn't make him happy. So at that point I started thinking, and I went on a holiday, and I came back from that holiday with just one opinion: we have to end this project because it's just simply because it's just bad for his health. That was number one reason.
Yeah, and it's not fun anymore.
Yeah, that's reason number two. It's not fun anymore,
Yeah.
and we're supposed to be two friends doing fun shit.
Exactly.
And if we're not two friends doing fun shit, but two enemies doing terrible things,
it's different. Yeah, and
let's just stop. So we decided to stop. And
what did that decision did to you? Because I still remember with me when I put out the message on Instagram and on Facebook, like I quit. If I have to describe it now, it literally felt like I was burying myself.
Yeah.
Literally, like I was at my own funeral, which felt really weird. And I didn't have any problem working towards that moment, but until I hit that publish button, I collapsed.
I can completely imagine how that must have felt.
And how did you experience it?
Probably opposite to your experiences.
Like a relief.
For me, it felt like a big relief. The project Mightyfools, it used to feel really close, like JoeySuki felt really close to you, and it was literally like somebody took it out of your heart and threw it away. For me, it already was walking away for quite a while, so it felt something over there. So I didn't feel really connected to the project anymore because my only associations with the project were negativity, fighting, going to places while we don't want to leave home. It was just it felt too much away from me personally. So if I look back to sets that I played back then and look to myself on stage, I mean, I'm having a good time. My main passion is DJing. I love it so much. Yet you see on the stage that it doesn't give me the energy that it used to.
Something changed.
Something changed already, like way back. So for me, it felt like a big relief. And when I told Andy, like, my decision is we're gonna quit, and I'm sorry to have put it this way, but you're gonna have to deal with it. I mean, we did this with a mental coach next. So we had like neutral grounds. We did it at the office from the mental coach. His girlfriend was there, so it wasn't like I tried to push him or something. I just wanted like a peaceful environment and people around him, so he felt safe and he felt that we were all in this together still, even though we're gonna quit. And firstly, of course, he responded like, "What the fuck? Why?" And then I explained all the things, and he was like, "You're completely right. Let's do this in a respectful way for the project, because we spent 10 years of our everything in there. Literally everything was Mightyfools. And of course, for our friendship, we became best friends. There's nobody in this planet ever who's gonna have the same experiences as we had in life, because it was such a crazy roller coaster. So we decided to tour for one last festival season. This was around the early winter that I told this to him. Yeah, around September or August, something like that. So we had one winter and one summer. So I said, I love festivals. I know we are now in a position, relieved, to be cool with each other. No more pressure. Just select the cool shows that we want to play and just enjoy life, because this project is way too awesome and worthy to just throw it in the trash like, peace, I'm out, you know?
And how did you handle it with partners, with bookers, managers? Did you just went to them and say like, dude, we quit, we got the deal? Or?
Most were already aware of this story, because, as I said, Andy took a step back for like a month or 3 that he really needed rest. And they were all informed about this. About a year before all this happened, we already ended our management contract. So the only contract we had was with our agent, and they responded really positive, and we were super happy. We were with Ace Agency for like 4 years, and they've always been really supporting, and they were like, yeah, sure, we understand, no problem. There have been more DJs before you that had some problems, so...
And that's the thing.
They were really positive, actually, while we were pretty scared at first to tell them, like, hey, you know, we're going.
We're quitting.
Yeah.
Don't hurt us.
Yeah, exactly. So it was scary, but they were super supportive, and everybody around us was really supportive and understanding, and that was also a relief, because Of course, I was a bit scared of the response from the outside world, but
Mhm.
Andy was even more scared because it all sort of started with his first collapse.
Yeah.
Everything that happened afterwards was like a combination of things, and of course my decision. I mean, we could still be Mightyfools right now, but I just felt like it would be better to not continue. So yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. Seems like a hard period, man.
It was. I didn't sleep for days.
Yeah.
I felt terrible. I looked like shit, and it was just. It was no fun. But as soon as we talked about it, and we could finally find our friendship back again, because the big pressure was finally gone. The big monster behind us. Yeah. You have to play. You have to release. You have to this. You have to that. He was gone, so there was space again
to have fun.
To have a friendship, and that was kind of strange because the last half year of touring and playing shows was the most fun in years. Yeah. And then you're like, okay, but it's gonna end soon. Yeah. And then you start like...
Then it starts fucking with your mind.
Yep.
Maybe we should continue. Yeah.
Maybe there's regrets. Maybe, you know?
I wonder if Andy's gonna have that feeling as well, because I still have it every now and then. Most of the time when I'm in an environment where a DJ is. Yeah. And at a festival or a club or whatever, and I'm there, or even when I look at after movies, you know, I look at it and it's like, fuck.
Could have been you on that stage.
It's such a cool life.
Yeah.
Like, I need to get back doing this. I always text my old tour manager like, "Cool, we're gonna do this." You know, I always like fuck each other up. Like, let's go. And then like after 1 minute of consciously thinking about it, like, no, it's not a good decision. Like it's so easy to forget all those bad things.
You only remember the good things at first, and then you start thinking, and then the bad things come back.
Exactly. If you remember, like, oh yeah, I've seen so much of the world and the playing, and it was so nice. Yeah. So easy to get drawn back into the scene.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, it was your biggest passion in life, so it makes a lot of sense.
It has been like almost the half part of my life so far. So
exactly,
it's a big thing.
And it was your like the only goal
thing,
in life,
like
the only
said,
thing,
you know, like Mightyfools, day in, day out. You woke up, first thing you did, music, emails, social media, whatever you needed to do. But it was all related to Mightyfools.
So it makes a lot of sense that you're thinking back. And I must say, now this time has been the most that I speak to Andy like in years as well, because we can finally talk personally again without again the big elephant in the room. Yeah. Breathing in your neck, like you have to perform, you have to push. Yeah. He's gone, so we can finally talk about it now. And he misses it as well, but he, as you say, within a minute he feels the relief again, that all the pressure and all the crazy shit is gone as well.
All the shit on your shoulder just disappears.
Yeah, and of course he still has his home studio. He will still make some music here and there, but not anymore on the forefront with every eye looking to him.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
and the same for me. I mean, I miss it now as well, but I'm saying no to shows on purpose just to give myself some space again in life and to find myself back. Yeah, again, because I've been Mightyfools for 11 years as well. I haven't been Jelle for 11 years. I've been Mightyfools.
Yeah, but that's an interesting thing you just mentioned, because Hardwell just announced that he started to take a step back, and he literally said as well, I'm gonna spend time on Robert. And I've been Hardwell for all these years, and now it's time to be Robert and to have a look at that part of my life. And you know, what's your opinion on that? As in, how did you experience it to balance those two lives? Because in the end, you are a split personality. You have like two persons inside yourself. You're the artist and you're yourself. Yeah. How did you balance those things out?
It was
at first. So when you were Mightyfools,
it was hard because like the first couple of years, it's just a hobby, going crazy.
Just not thinking about anything.
Not thinking about anything at all. You're just a young guy having a lot of fun, drinking a lot of booze, and having the best time ever. Yeah. What the fuck? I'm getting paid for this shit. How is this even possible? Yeah. After a while, like reality kicks in, and you're actually on a level of performing, and a level of pressure, and a level of expectations, and that's also the moment that you start reflecting about. So, what is Mightyfools? what am I? What am I in Mightyfools? And
did you ever thought about it during being the Mightyfools?
Yeah,
yeah?
Actually a lot, because I think it was 2014 that we played like 120 shows in 1 year, and our schedule literally was one day in New Zealand, the next day in Toronto, the next day in Chile, the next day in Amsterdam. Just things you don't even...
Crazy.
Yeah, we actually once decided to fly home for 1 day from the States, home 1 day, just to sleep in my own bed, to get sane again, fly to Australia. Well, if we did it the other way around, we would have been traveling like 20 hours. With this travel schedule, it was like 40 hours.
Wow. Just to sleep
in my own bed for 1 day. So that was kind of the life that we were in.
Yeah.
I had a breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the stage in, I think it was Taiwan. Anyway, somewhere in Asia. Huge festival, 20,000 people. Biggest crowd that we've ever played outside of Holland.
Mm-hmm.
Main stage, prime time. And everybody was screaming like crazy. Like the level that you could only dream of. Like it was unreal. And it didn't do anything to me. I felt blank. Like just a blank sheet of paper in my mind. While everybody in front of me was screaming.
During the set?
During the set. So I cut down the boot volume so I could talk to Andy. And I was like, what are you experiencing right now? And he was like almost crying like, this is the best fucking day of my life. I can't believe it. This is so awesome. I've been always dreaming of playing in Asia. And now look at this. Yeah. And I was like, okay, so there's definitely something wrong with me right now, because I'm not feeling anything. Yeah. Literally nothing. Like if you put a knife in my body right now, nothing. So we went home and I just had a burnout.
Mm-hmm. From the traveling, or?
Probably just the pressure I put on myself. Like there was no time for relationships, friendships, birthdays, girlfriends, nothing. Just
but what you're actually meaning is there was no time for Jelle Keizer.
There was no time for me as a person.
Yeah,
it was only Mightyfools. And if I was at home, I was only thinking about when is the weekend again, when are we playing again, just getting myself hyped and playing Call of Duty until the plane would leave again, you know. So my doctor was 2 streets away from my house. I called the doctor. I'm like, something is wrong with me, and I don't know what, but I feel awful. Can I come by? Yeah, sure, you can come by in an hour. 2 streets would take you 2 minutes normally. Took me half an hour.
But walking?
I couldn't walk anymore. I couldn't see straight anymore. My vision was blurry. I had lost my, what you call it, the sense of standing up, you know?
Balance.
My balance, exactly. Yeah. I lost my balance, so I was just walking like this from the...
Really?
Yeah, other houses and like the poles on the street. Couldn't see shit, so I just crawled like into the doctor.
That must have looked crazy.
Probably.
Like seeing this guy crawling on the floor.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
So... I got in there and they're like, yep, this is a burnout. Yep, you've worked too hard. Are you experiencing any stress? Yeah. Say no more. Yeah. Started writing, so I get these subscription pills. And went back and they were like calming pills for anxiety. And I just was in my bed for 2 weeks straight. Cancelled all the shows. Curtains closed, didn't come out of my house at all, just ordering in every day and just in my bed the whole time.
What period was it? 2014?
Yeah, it was, I think, the winter of 2014 to 2015. Mm-hmm. So we released Footwalker a year before.
Mm-hmm. Which exploded. Same with our tour schedule, and EDM exploded. Everything exploded around the same time. Crazy. Yeah.
So after those 2 weeks, I started thinking a lot. And I went to this... mental coach. I thought like, yeah, bullshit, hippie shit, whatever. But I heard from some friends like, just give it a try, it might work, you know. And I was like, yeah, what the heck, let's just try it. So we started talking and she said like, so who is Jelle? A DJ, a producer, a stage, a performer. No. Who is Jelle?
That's Mightyfools.
Yeah, exactly. And he flies around the world. No. Who is Jelle? He plays video games. Okay.
What else?
Yeah, so we started talking and thinking, and I had no clue.
It's weird, right? That you just live someone else's life.
Yeah, but it was my life.
Yeah.
It was my dream.
Yeah.
I was living my dream life, yet I was forgetting,
Yeah.
like, if I even had hobbies.
Yeah.
Would I read a book?
That
What
was
are
your
my
hobby.
favorite movies, you know?
Yeah.
Instead of what's the selection on the airplane,
Yeah.
what are actually my favorite movies?
Yeah.
And
What's the selection on the airplane?
yeah, what haven't you seen the week before,
Yeah,
you know?
true,
What's still
yeah.
available?
they changed the movie
Yeah.
every month, like, new monthly movies. Yeah. DJ Live.
So I started really discovering myself then, and I noticed that I actually have a really strong personality, and I am capable of dealing with all the pressure, but I just lost it somewhere on the way because I didn't know. I was 20 when everything started going. I've been DJing since I was 16 on stages, so I never got the time to evaluate myself.
And that's why I think it's so special that you actually thought about it. Like, of course, you need to get into this burnout to start thinking about it. But I think a lot of DJs right now, including the big DJs out there, I wonder how many of them actually spend time thinking about this.
I think lately, with the whole Avicii thing, luckily, that's the only positive thing from Avicii's story. And people started thinking about it more now, but definitely the last past years, there was no space for this because we were all in the 2014 boom, just going up and up and up, and and that's also the thing with Andy. Like, I went on a holiday every once in a while, and he didn't, and those are the times that you evaluate yourself and your life.
Relax.
And if he went on a holiday, it might have prevented some things. It's difficult to say, but I mean, it's hard to look back and think what could have been different. But things just happened, and it all happened. And I'm just happy that we're good friends again, and that he's in good health and good spirit, and he's a happy man now. But.
And what did you, because you've been into this process, you've had a burnout yourself, you had talks with mental coaches, then you experienced the whole thing with Mightyfools going down, ending the career there. What was the most special thing that you've learned out of this experience? Like something you live by every day right now?
Well,
what changed?
That's a tough question.
It is.
That's a really hard question. I live by a couple of rules in general. Mm-hmm. Simple rules. I'm not spiritual, but I do believe in not chasing happiness, but just being happy with the simple things. Mm-hmm. And I see every day as a new day, and I wanted to be a better person than the day before. Mm-hmm. Like, it's pretty simple. You can make it really complex, but I just want to be a better man than I was the day before. And those can be the simplest things. Like, if I went grocery shopping, like, I have fresh food in the house again, I'm in a better position than I was the day before. Yeah. Just the simple shit, but that keeps me on sort of a sane level, I would say. Like
a mental health thing. Like, your body needs to be healthy, but your mind needs to be in balance.
Yeah, I need to give myself like rewards that I am doing good things. Okay, and that can be reading a book, making a new track, cleaning the house, making my girlfriend happy with like a present or whatever, you know. Just the simple things to keep these steps in progress. And that's something that I learned during the craziest days of the Mightyfools, that I need to take time for myself as well.
For Jelle.
Yeah, and improve myself as a person instead of just improving the brand. Yeah. And that like split in the personal and business life, I think that's the thing that sort of saved me from going under as well. Yeah. So is that what changed right now is that you live more consciously, knowing that you have to spend time on yourself as well. Yeah, it's very conscious right now, and there's probably every once or like 2-3 days that I just walk around in my house, just like, yeah, this is alright. I'm happy. Yeah, I got my girl, I got a cat, I got my family still being healthy, I got a nice house, I got a nice car. I can be proud of myself, you know. And that's something I never did before. Like, the money was going in like crazy, and I wasn't even thinking about it. Yeah, but that's the thing. It's really not about the money. It's not about the money at all.
it's nice to have it, but it's not about the money. And it sounds so cliche. You hear everyone saying it, but that's the way it is.
All my friends were like, yeah, bro, you're filthy rich and what the fuck, you know? And I was like,
don't care.
I don't even care.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice to have... For me, it's also a rule sort of for myself that I learned in the past. Like, my most important thing is having a good night rest.
Mm-hmm.
And anything...
Well, you picked the right job.
Exactly. Well, anything that like gets in the way of me having a good sleep, that's a problem. So if that is like financial stress, it's a problem. So I have to make sure that I'm in a financially safe position.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that makes me happy that some decent money came in, so I don't have to stress about money, so I can sleep well. But it also, same as I said before, is also in the simple things. So,
like I still remember that I went to the psychologist as well, and he said, "What makes you happy?" And then I started thinking like, "Fuck, what makes me happy?" You know, because I had the same thing. Like, I'm a DJ. I blah blah blah.
Being on the stage and having scream people.
Yeah, exactly. And then I said to him like, I can really enjoy having a coffee on the balcony in the sun. In the morning, like waking up, having a coffee in the sun on the balcony. And the moment I said it, I was like, I actually never thought about the fact that I really liked it. I just did it, you know?
Yeah, but you never do it when you actually need it.
Exactly. So now every time I do something which I really enjoy, I really think about it. Like last week, it's not that warm anymore. Like it's pretty cold in the morning. But I got up and I was like, I want some fresh air, like having that camping feeling, you know.
Yeah.
I get really happy from that camping feeling. Funny that the studio is in like a farm right now, so you're in the outside all day.
Mm-hmm.
But last weekend I actually went outside in the morning in my bathrobe with a coffee in the sun, -2 degrees. And I was like, I was standing there, I was like, I actually still enjoy this, you know. Like it doesn't care. I don't.
Now
care
you suddenly understand your parents.
Yeah.
They used to be old and boring, but now you're like, I actually know why they enjoy this.
Yeah, why my parents always went out for a walk. Like, who goes walking for fun?
You crazy? Take the car.
Yeah, exactly. Someone invented a car. You know? No, but I think those, like, it really sounds cheesy, and I know it sounds soft, but those kind of things are needed for yourself to become happy, you know.
You need some time to wind down, and that's the simplest things.
Yeah.
And for me, same as you, I mean, my shower window is where the sun goes up, so I shower in the sunshine in the morning.
Perfect.
The best thing ever. So I start my day with a big smile because I'm just in the sunshine, you know. And when my cat is on my lap watching Netflix together, you know, those simple things. It sounds super cheesy and boring, but it's like such a big contrast from being on the stage for 20,000 people, yet it makes me equally happy. But you need this balance in your life. And around that time, around 2014, 15, 16 as well, I was only on stage with screaming people.
And you never had time off.
No, and then the balance is gone because you need to sit on the sofa with your cat. To keep you sane.
Balance those things out,
The balance is key. So now I live a lot more balanced, and I really enjoyed it.
So is that something you changed? Like, is there something rigorously changed in comparison with then in your working space? So,
well, in my life in general.
Yeah, but 2 or 3 years ago, you worked every day, like you said.
Yeah.
There wasn't a moment where you had, I had a day off.
No.
And that's probably because working doesn't feel like work. Right?
Work is not work.
Exactly.
Plus, the DJ world never stops.
Exactly.
And never sleeps.
But now, did you change? Did you say like, okay, I want 2 days off every week. I don't work in the evenings. I don't reply to emails on the morning. Is there something you changed?
You can't reach me after 6.
Okay, that's
simple rule. With like emails, friends can reach me, but if it's business, I'll do it the next day.
Turn off.
I work sometimes in the weekend, but generally I work a lot less in the weekend.
Yeah,
unless it's a show, but when I'm the weekend off from a show, I mean, maybe 1 hour on a Sunday if I feel like it. I'm not in studio every day. I haven't been in studio 3 weeks right now. I don't miss it.
That's interesting too. Before that, you were in the studio all day long, right?
No. I've never been like a 9 to 5 studio type of guy. But I was a lot more in the studio than I was right now because I felt a certain pressure, and I don't feel that pressure anymore. I work when I feel productive.
Yeah, creative.
So when I feel creative or creativity, I go to the studio and I work. But my whole life just turned upside down. I'm a lot more conscious about myself, but also my surroundings. I went vegan since a year.
Really?
Actually,
So
almost 2 years now.
You like it?
I love it.
Yeah. What's the biggest change in there? Like, do you notice something from the inside?
Two simple things. From the inside, I feel a lot more healthy. That was my main reason to do this. But the second thing, as I turned more conscious to the world around me and thinking about all the damage I've done with like 2,000 flights to the planet.
You kind of
I feel terrible. Yeah, so also that kind of balances it out for me, like destroying the nature with all my flying and playing the loud music. That needs like a balance as well. So now, I don't eat meat and animal products, and actually,
Is your girlfriend also vegan?
Yeah.
Okay, that helps.
That helps a lot.
I couldn't imagine a life like that.
You're the barbecue king.
That's why I can imagine.
No, it's a personal choice, and for me, it gives a lot of peace and balance. I'm not trying to imply to anybody that you should live like this. It's my personal.
Yeah, but
choice
I totally agree with. I have the same feelings about saving the world. Not saving the world because I don't believe you can do that in your own.
No, I agree to that as well.
It's a small thing you add to that, but I have the same thing. Like, we need to start thinking more consciously about what we're doing because things are changing, right? Lots of cyclones, floodings, shit's changing, and it's not because it all went wrong. It all went well, actually.
Yeah.
So I also have that state of mind, but not on the food part, as in I just like meat. But I do buy other meat. So not the meat that has been made in factories and stuff. I buy pure meat.
Yeah, exactly.
Those kind of things.
That's also a conscious decision, which you probably didn't even think about 5 years ago.
No.
But it's things that change you in the run of life experiences,
and I
would say.
It has to do something with the age as well. Like, how old are you?
31.
31, I'm 30. Like, almost all the DJs we know are in the same age spectrum. Like 28,
of course.
20, 35.
That's also, everybody's surprised, like, oh, all the DJs are stopping now. Well, that makes sense because we all started 10 years ago.
We all started at the same time, you know. Like,
it's a limited run you can do. Not everybody's like Armin and playing until you're 60. And
but it's also like the how life works is in, this is the age where you make decisions that are laying the grounds of the rest of your life. Like, this is the moment
we're adults now.
This is where you buy a house. This is where you decide on having kids. This is where you decide on what job you're going to do. This is also the moment where you actually start knowing yourself. Like, all those 30 years before that, you were just a kid.
You were just having fun and partying.
Exactly.
And with our job, we had to be adults really early. We were at the other side of the world, the two of us, just having to find our way and discovering things and discovering how we could keep ourselves healthy and keeping ourselves safe in some occasions. I mean, we've been to some crazy places.
That's the thing that freaked me out during touring. Safe, like being safe. I was always freaked out that I got hurt or got whatever could happen.
I'm more conscious about that now than I was back then. I've been like at the craziest after parties in Mexico and flying straight back to the US again, smelling of drugs and booze. I mean, I never did drugs, but like the people around me, so I would smell like weed being in the TSA line back into the US, and they picked me out.
What's the weirdest thing you ever experienced? Like, from the top of your mind.
This is like a list.
Let's just pick one of them.
Well, I can give you a bunch, The after party in Mexico and then getting picked out of the TSA line for some extra questions. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
A shootout in a club in the UK.
What?
Yeah, suddenly there was this police officer tapping on my shoulder like, you have to stop playing right now, because we were playing so loud in the booth I didn't even hear the shooting.
Oh, yeah.
What else? Man,
But that's crazy.
we got stuck in Albania,
Hmm.
where they wouldn't want to leave us back in the European Union. Apparently, we crossed the river illegally. Yeah, the promoter is blacklisted right now. Yeah, all these kind of things, man.
That's the thing you don't think about.
And the airplanes as well, like the amount of times that we've been like that even the crew was panicking and
that's where it gets uncomfortable.
yeah, but that was normal for us at one point because we were in the plane every fucking day.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, the crazy list, man, it can go on and on.
Do you take all those experience you have right now? Do you bring that with you? As in, I don't know if you want kids, but let's say, do you want kids?
Yeah.
Let's say your kid is 16 or 18 or 20, knowing how the world works because you've seen a lot of the world, you've met a lot of people, you've seen the bad things, you've seen the good things. Do you bring those things into your how do you say that? Bringing up your children.
Upbringing.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, that's the word.
Okay, that. How do you think about that? Let's say you get a kid who says, "Daddy, I'm gonna be a DJ and I'm gonna travel all over the world." Hell no.
No. Hey, good for you. I'll help you out. I know some people here and there,
exactly,
but well, firstly, the whole industry changed a lot in the past years. I think if you start touring now, like my nephew, he's called Maurice West, and he's doing pretty well right now. And he started this like 3 years ago. And when I tell him some of my experience, he's like, "What the fuck? That's crazy back in the days, and there was nothing arranged. It was also professional and old school."
Yeah.
And it all went really professional, especially in the past years. Like around 2014, we had the EDM bubble in the US, and then 3 years later, Asia followed. So that's 2 years ago that it actually exploded right there.
Okay.
And it all turned really professional. Before that, it was just unorganized chaos. We started touring the US in 2009, I think. Like way before the Afrojacks and all those guys were even going there.
That was a period where we were at the Rock Academy, I think. That's where you had your first Australia tour? With Fidget Sound?
Yeah, and a year after we started touring the US as well. And then I left school because there was no time.
If now thinking of that's a long time.
We were one of the first Dutch DJs in Australia and in the US in general. It was really crazy, and it was so unprofessional back then. And I've seen so many crazy things. Definitely, I would teach my kid about how the world works. And I've seen actual poverty in India and like dead people lying in the streets. I've seen all that shit, and it's fucked up. But you know, actually, that the world is not a friendly place as some people might tell you. Like over here where we are, it's safe and it's nice and people are friendly and complaining.
Perfect.
But like the other side of the world is just a whole different story. So if my child would say, "I want to be inspired and travel around India for 3 weeks with a backpack," I would say, hell no. Never, ever. You go to a 5-star resort or you don't go at all. So, but I don't know. It's a difficult question. I'm not really thinking about that right now, but I'm sure I have a lot of experiences that I could give along the way.
Life experiences. And like that's all the stuff you've had in the past. What's bringing the future for you? What's the thing? What's your plan now?
Well, I can't stop DJing. That's thing number one. So when we decided to stop Mightyfools, I started thinking what I want to do with life, and I just couldn't figure it out until I started thinking about DJing again. And then the smile came back on my face. So I decided to go solo. New project, new name, new sound as well. We used to be like more in the bass house trap kind of realm, and now I'm going. For me, it feels sort of going back to house, tech house, and old school influences.
Cool.
For a couple of reasons. At first, it's always been my secret passion, my sort of favorite music behind all the other music. Secondly, I'm 31 now, and the last few years I felt being a bit old in a way when my crowd was 18 and when they turn 19, new 18-year-olds come in.
The crowd stays 18,
The crowd stays 18, and I went older and older. And at first, I felt a really connection. And when you're 25, you don't feel old because you're still in the same group.
Mm-hmm.
But like around 3 years ago, I would like play a mashup that we made with like a Snoop Dogg track or something. And I was like, yeah, it's gonna go really crazy right now. Everybody's gonna sing along, and I put a fader down, and nobody sings along because they have no clue what this old music was, you know.
They don't know it, yeah.
And then I feel this distance growing. So the sort of nice thing about house music and tech house is that the crowd is a bit older as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a good connection with them, and I can feel the same level. And also just to step out of the crazy world that I've been in for such a long time. It would be easy to choose a cool name, start playing the same music again, use my same old connections, play on the same festivals. Yeah. That would be like 2 phone calls away, but that's not pleasing for me. And I just want to develop myself as a person as well and challenge myself again. Yeah. The easy way, I don't like the easy way. I never liked the easy way. We always choose to be different as Mightyfools as well. We were stubborn. We always were kind of alternative for the scene that we were in. Yeah. Always different than the rest, and I feel that's really important for myself to continue. Cool. So, Keizer Jelle is the name. It's on SoundCloud, it's on Spotify, it's on YouTube, and
check it out.
Yeah.
Well, nice, man. I really enjoyed this talk. I like the fact that we went a bit deeper in this. That's where my hot spot is. I like to talk about the deeper stuff. And I just personally think, if I look at you right now, you've always been a calm guy, but now you really, you feel like you look like you have it all figured out, you know, like, okay, this is my plan, this is what I want, this is what I don't want, this is what I'm gonna do, and I'll adjust along the way. I
feel more focused.
Exactly, yeah. So I really have to say I'm proud.
Thank you.
And hope everything's well with Andy, of course, as well.
He's doing a lot better now. Yeah, he's for the people, of course, they don't really follow everything that we do, but he's like a whole new person. He's healthy, happy with his girlfriend, doing new things in life, and
perfect ending.
He's well. So
you write a book about it.
Maybe.
Thanks for your time, and thanks for coming over, and good luck in the future.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man.